Are you ready?
Welcome everyone to a new interview by Mad Drawer. I'm Carmelin here, and of course today we are interviewing our top laner, Sako. Welcome, Sako.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here with us. Let's get to know you better today. So our first question is, what is your favorite champion, and what is your least liked champion?
Least liked and most liked. I think my favorite champion of all time would probably be Ryze or Jace.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure which one of those, but maybe even probably Ryze.
Mm-hmm.
And my
the one
least
you like the least?
I don't think I have a least liked champion, but let's say Teemo, I guess.
Okay, Teemo. Okay. Nice. And okay, so talking about you as a professional player, when did you decide that you wanted to become one? And how did people around you react to it, like your family, friends?
I mean, for me it started a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I basically played with some friends 10 years ago, right? And then 3 years later or so, 4 years later, after playing these amateur tournaments, a lot of my friends stopped playing the game, and I decided to take it more serious. And it kind of started from there, before all the national leagues existed and stuff, so we just played tournaments.
Mm-hmm. And now you're here, so your career is quite interesting. Let's talk about it, because you've done several interesting things, like being a substitute for D2, you've been a player for Dragons ESA here in Spain, then you were the top laner for the SK Academy, and then you were actually promoted to the main roster. How did you feel about that? Because it was quite controversial in certain ways. Did you feel comfortable with it?
I mean, personally, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's because we developed a really good atmosphere in the academy, and we just came off second place in New Masters, but we expected to win.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was kind of out of nowhere, where I got called to participate as a sub in the main team, and then eventually they decided to promote me as well. So for me it was outside of, all the things that happened with Verlib, right? I wasn't very supportive of what happened, but outside of that, for me it was also I didn't feel the leap was the correct timing. I probably wanted to play at least one more split in the academy, but
But it didn't take place. You ended up being on the main roster. The results weren't quite good, but at least you got that LEC experience, which I guess was cool in a certain way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's it's kind of what you expect, but it's still really nice. I'm not sure how better to explain it.
We can see it. The LEC experience for any professional player, it must be kind of amazing in a certain way. But in any case, you moved on. You went to Turkey to play for Fenerbahce at the TLC. And I'd like to ask you, how was your time there? Did you experience any kind of cultural shock?
I wouldn't say cultural shock, but it was for sure a bit different. The way people behave, or they approach training and stuff like this. For me it's a bit hard to compare because of COVID, what happened. So the experience in Fenerbahce was completely different to any previous team I was in, right? So we were kind of isolated, and that made things a bit more difficult than it should. But generally, my time in Turkey and people I was around with was very pleasant.
Well, that's nice. Hello to Turkish fans too. I've got a few here and there due to the interview with Armut too. So thank you very much for watching this interview. And next question is after this, you came back to Spain to play for Mad Lions Madrid. What is what you're doing there? I'd like to ask you, the results have been a little mixed. Sometimes you go 0-2 in a week, sometimes you win several games in a row. I'd like to ask you, why do you think this is happening?
I think it's a very complicated thing to explain, because every time it's in theory something different, or there's like a slight variation why something happens, and then we lose or we win, right? But in general, it's like we for sure lack a bit of experience in the team overall, and it's probably something we have to keep building on to become a really good team. But in general, sometimes in practice we do like really well, but we don't get to translate it in official games, and sometimes it just looks like we end up losing without doing much. So those are like some things that we're struggling with right now, but I feel like really confident in my teammates and myself, right?
That's nice. That's also what I also want to ask you, like, how is the team keeping up with this? Like, how are you feeling and get along with each other?
Yeah, for me it's like really good, right? I mean, I have a lot of experience, and this was probably one of the teams that seems to deal with losses or like bad moments the best. We have a lot of these like routines. We continue working, we discuss mistakes and stuff, and we move on, right? But in previous teams, there is usually not enough support from the staff, and people end up isolating, and then the team usually collapses very, very often. But here we're still like sticking together, even though like the time is not the best right now, but we're just like still focused on the practice and trying to get better, right?
That's what we want to hear as supporters for the team, and those are good news for you. Also, like your expectations before joining and your current expectations, I guess they've changed a little bit. Could you tell us what you expected before and what you are aiming to do now?
Yeah, I mean, my initial expectation was obviously like having not a lot of issues to like try to win the regular split, right? And qualify to EU Masters, but how things are standing right now, I think we're just gonna try to reach playoffs, and then in playoffs everything is possible, right? Even if you qualify as the sixth team, you can still end up beating like any other team, right? Especially because it's gonna be either best of 3 or best of 5, so the game changes completely, where you don't lose the series just by like bad level 1 or stuff like this. So
I mean, the good thing is also that this split is being so crazy. Like there are several ties within each position, so it's like being ninth right now. It's just like you're just a few wins away from number 1, so it's still possible. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. Like for me, it's a bit. I mean, it's for sure unbelievable. I've never seen this where like every team is kind of beating everyone, and like even like the first team is only like 2 or 3 wins away from the last team, right?
Yeah. So it can turn around, and you might get a really good position in the end. So keep watching your games and encouraging you to win. Now, I'd like to ask you, this last question is a little spicy. Have your teammates tried to troll you? Because we've seen them trolling Alex by going into his Twitter account and so on. Have they done this to you?
I mean, not really.
Oh.
I think at least that I'm aware of. But I mean, we generally joke a lot, I guess. But yeah, I think Alex is usually the one that gets the most trolling.
Poor Alex. And finally, also with these roster changes, how you think things are going to work from now on? Because you've introduced new players, how are things going to go?
Well, I'm not sure what the decision is within the team right now. We're pretty much just sticking to the routine we're practicing, and I guess like the coaches will decide.
Okay, we'll see what happens in the end. And also, do you got any messages for your fans over at your country, Croatia, or here in Spain, whatever you want to say to your supporters?
I mean, I'm not sure exactly. I'm really enjoying my time here so far. It's really nice. I mean, I'm obviously a bit sad because of the current results we have, and I hope we can turn it around. Like, I see a lot of people are being very supportive, and I mean, I'm also kind of sorry that I'm not very active on Twitter. I usually find it a bit hard when we're not doing so well, so I just try to like play the game and get better, right? But hopefully, when we end up turning the season around, that like we're all gonna be more active and be more interactive with the fans, right?
Yeah, and if you can't do it, then you've also got your teammates to hack in your Twitter account and do it for you.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
you can count on them, which is good. So, Sakura, thank you very much for the interview.
Thank
I
you.
mean, we send you all the support and energy and love that we can for you and the rest of the team to win these games. And we will be with you no matter what. So, again, thank you very much for joining us and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh.